Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, president and founder of AgileDad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. So without any further ado, let's get started. It's our Friday Agile, Not So Agile episode, so I thought I'd start with a story. So once there was a professor who walked around his classroom full of students holding a glass of water. But he did it with his arm extended completely straight out like this. And he asked his students, how heavy is this water? Right? How heavy is this water? And their best guesses, their estimates were anywhere from 4 ounces to a pound. It was a very, nothing significant about it. It was just a glass of water, a simple glass of water, right? The professor replied, the absolute weight of this glass isn't what matters while I'm holding it. Rather, it's the amount of time that I hold on to it that makes the impact. So let's just hypothetically say if I hold it for 2 minutes, it doesn't feel like much of a burden. I can hold it for 2 minutes, no big deal. But if I hold that same glass of water for an hour, its weight can become more apparent and your muscles will begin to tire. If you try to hold it for an entire day or a week, your muscles would easily cramp and you'll start to feel numb or even paralyzed with pain. And eventually your arm will reduce, the water will spill, and you'll drop the glass of water, whatever the case may be. But in essence, it would make you feel completely miserable and unable to think about anything aside from the pain that you're feeling from holding the water. In all these cases, the actual weight of the glass will remain the same, and the actual weight of the water in the glass will remain the same. But the longer you clench onto it, the heavier it seems to feel, and the more burdensome it becomes to hold. I think everyone can agree that the glass of water can easily represent stress and worry that we carry around with us forever, every day, guilt or judgment that we've cast on others. All those things represent that glass of water. And if you get to the point where you think about the things in your life that aren't right and you push them aside, it's not a heavy burden to bear. But if you think about them and let them dwell, you start to feel the impact of stress in your life, and you start to really carry those worries with you all day, every day. And you end up becoming incapacitated, and it prohibits you from doing the things that you love and doing anything else until you can find a way to let them go. Now, this story is, obviously a parable to explain the importance of releasing negative energy and staying positive about things and seeing the glass half full. But it's also a recipe for gratitude, because I firmly believe that every time you express gratitude, that it can actually make that glass a little lighter. It can make your life a little easier, because the truth is, the glass itself and the water weight didn't change at all. But the representation of how long you can hold that arm out for with that glass of water, even if it's something so light, it changes based on not only just your strength, but just it's more of what I call constitution. So the question is, do you have constitution or fortitude to be able to hold a glass for an extended amount of time? Or are you someone who has the fortitude to hold it for a short amount of time, but to let it go and to not be judgmental and to do the things that you need to do to perfect being a better person? Now, sometimes it's important for us to hold on to that glass for a little bit in order for us to make things right, in order for us to do what it takes to constitute better behavior, to be part of the refiner's fire, if you will, and to make things right and to get rid of those stresses and worries completely, as opposed to only letting them fester for a short time, trying to get rid of them only to have them come back and haunt us again. So I think the trick here, the tip that I'm trying to give you, is to try hard to understand the difference between when it's appropriate to let go of the glass, when it's appropriate to hold the glass for a short time, and when it's appropriate. You should never let it get to the point where you're numb or paralyzed, or that the pain's so overbearing that you can't take it anymore. And I guess the message I'm trying to send here is that emotional health is important, and that I think too many times we get so wound up in what we're doing and how we're doing it, the process of it all, that we forget about emotional well-being and health. And it really is a big deal. And I think it's important for us to regain a focus and to help those who are struggling with emotional health issues. It really is something that is a plague, and especially with the pandemic and all the things going on in the world today, it's very easy for us to become judgmental or jaded or to separate ourselves. I think it's equally as important for us to insert ourselves back into the situation and to help solve or resolve some of the issues that we're facing, and to understand that we have people who will help us take on those issues if we seek them out. But it's important for us to remember that even if someone stands across from you and holds their arm out and helps you hold the glass, it doesn't mean that the glass at some point won't become heavy, right? So I think it's important for you to really understand what's in your glass, what belongs in your glass, and what type of things you need to get out of your glass so that you can live a better life and be a better person. I think that the water in a glass, or your muscles to hold up the water in a glass, represent an investment of who you really are from both a spiritual and mental capacity. So I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope things always continue to go your way. And until next Monday, I hope that you'll just be your best self. Find a way to challenge yourself to help someone else. Be strong, be agile, and we'll talk again soon. Do take care.